Likely the first thing you need to know when discussing modern astronomy is, where did it all originate? Who are the founding fathers of our understanding of astronomy? Well, it all started with the original Greek theories. Aristotle heralded that the Earth was the center of the universe, and everything, including the sun, revolved around our planet. This claim was called geocentrism, and it actively ignored evidence that diminished its validity, such as planets moving in strange patterns called retrograde motion. Instead of moving in a straight line, planets such as Mars would seemingly move backwards before continuing its path. For 1,000 years, scholars have basically ignored this phenomenon, until Nicholas Copernicus, a Polish priest, introduced a new viewpoint: heliocentricity. I've done it! I've figured it out! The Earth isn't the center of the universe, the sun is! Wow, that's amazing! Why does it do that? I don't know. This, plus the public's general reaction to someone challenging the knowledge they have understood to be truth for 1,000 years being not good, meant Copernicus didn't publish his theories until right before he died in a book called De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium. His body might be gone, but his impact survives. Rock on, fight the power. People who supported this belief were... One man who greatly expanded on Copernicus's knowledge was Galileo Galilei, an Italian physicist and engineer. Galileo utilized an instrument called a spyglass, an invention of unknown origin. He added his own personal touches to the instrument, and using this invention in 1610, he discovered that Jupiter had moons of its own, moons that could not be orbiting Jupiter if the Earth truly was the center of which everything rotated. He also observed the phases of Venus, which saw Venus cast a shadow caused by the sun's light in a way and order that could only exist if it rotated around the sun, rather than the Earth. Then he was put under house arrest by the Roman Inquisition. So how does the Earth revolve around the sun? Well, the road to that knowledge started with an English mathematician in 1687. Astronomers love him, fruits hate him. It's Isaac Newton. One day, an apple fell on Newton's head. This event drove Newton to discover the force called gravity, which is what causes everything to fall down in reach of this pole. Basically, unless you're Adina Menzel, if you're on Earth, you're glued to this thing. Attempts to defy this force have been the leading cause of many scientific breakthroughs regarding space exploration and the funding and building of rocket ships, and charging people $40 an hour for fun at rebounders. But what is gravity? Newton's law of gravitation states that any and all particles of matter in the universe attracts to any other particle, with the strength of that attraction being determined by the distance and mass. This fundamental principle went nearly untouched until 1905, when Albert Einstein, some wacko I'm sure you've never heard about, introduced a theory that involved time and determined gravitational pull was determined by further relativity, that everything revolving around gravity was fluid, and because of this crazy-haired guy, we have Christopher Nolan movies featuring time travel. Maybe one day we'll find out that the entire universe is determined by a random bookshelf. But what does all this mean for us? Well, gravity explains why the Earth doesn't ever leave its orbit around the sun, which is our giant ball of life, and that would suck a ton if the Earth decided to chicken out. Heliocentricity explains why we have seasons, why the moon changes light, and what led to our fundamental understanding of why we're even trapped on this rock in the first place. Without gravity, everything in the universe would be a constant mess of matter colliding into each other with no path or direction, which is exactly what you can get by paying $40 to rebounders.